Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist Network on YouTube, which is sponsored by the Crystal Coast Realty Group and Flip Flops Donuts of Emerald Isle. I am Dennis Richkovsky, and I got into the real estate business to sell happiness. Happiness, you say? You may think that any tie between real estate and happiness would be a tad tenuous at best. But in this episode, I will show you that home ownership can and does make people happy. Before I begin, I need to tell you that I own a donut shop, so I know happiness. After all, sugar is tightly linked to happy occasions like birthdays, weddings, and anniversaries since forever. And the best sugar delivery system I can think of is a donut. In my Flip Flops donut shop, we bake things right in the store, and we have actual bakers who know what they are doing, not some high school kids putting partially baked frozen items through some chemical process. My customers see friendly faces behind our counter while they happily munch on a donut or a bagel, visiting with friends and hanging out. All right, now that I've established my bona fides, let's get into why I think home ownership makes people happy. For starters, shopping in general makes people happy. Just like eating sugar triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter that is part of our brain's reward system, anticipating a purchase or giving yourself a treat or a reward also releases dopamine. And this makes you feel good, feel happy. Some of the happiest people I meet outside the donut shop are clients I show houses to. People are happy when they tour a home for sale, especially one they fall in love with. I can tell you they get really happy when they get approved for the loan to purchase that home they love. I can attest personally that homeowners are especially happy at closing when they get handed the keys to their new home. After all, home ownership is a hallmark of the American dream and a significant life milestone. What's not to be happy about? But don't take my word for it. Let's look at one of the many surveys and polls confirming that home ownership brings happiness to people. And I will do this by contrasting the happiness reported by homeowners and renters. One national survey of 500 homeowners and 500 renters, conducted by the Inman Group, found that 90% of homeowners said they were happier since owning a home, and 78% said they'd never rent a home again. Homeowners achieved an overall happiness level of 88% compared to 67% for renters. When evaluating the specific reasons or sources for their happiness, homeowners overshadowed renters across all topics surveyed, with stability, net worth, and living situation each receiving scores above 90% for homeowners versus 73, 72, and 67% for renters, respectively. When rating their happiness on a 1 to 10 scale, homeowners averaged 8.4 for quality of life, 8.13 for mental health, and 7.86 for physical health. Meanwhile, renters averaged 6.22 for quality of life, 6.01 for mental health, and 5.97 for physical health. I can easily understand these findings as someone who owns two oceanfront homes in Emerald Isle, where I live full time. But owning an oceanfront home on the Outer Banks, or the mainland for that matter, isn't for everyone either. Just like everything else, home ownership comes with its pros and cons. I have 25 years of experience to know that oceanfront is brutal on a house. Exterior paint that should last 15 years doesn't make it past 7. HVAC units rust before your eyes. If you rent to vacationers, you have heard it all. From the lady who stuffs the refrigerator and freezer with a week's worth of warm groceries at 5 p.m. and calls the management agency at 5:15 p.m. to say that your refrigerator is conked out, to the folks who have every window and door open in July to smell the ocean and wonder why your AC is not working. Then there's the guest who calls to tell you that a plate has a chip when the ocean is visible from every window in the house. The property manager always requests us to remove, replace, or renovate perfectly good furnishings, or the decorator who insists that you must have 80-inch flat panel screens in every room and granite on every countertop. What happened to simply walking out to the beach and watching children and grandchildren frolic in the surf? Oh, wait, maybe that's why there's a waiting list of people wanting to rent my house. Renting is a smart choice for some people, regardless of generation, financial status, or happiness level. This can be someone who doesn't like settling down and is happiest when life is a constantly moving adventure. Or it could be an existing homeowner looking to downsize and eliminate the cost of maintaining a home. Maybe it's a digital nomad who can work exclusively online and can work from any connected place in the world. Others like living year round in an RV, touring the country. There are other reasons why some people prefer to rent. They may fear the costs of maintaining a home and love that they can call a landlord to fix the roof, plumbing, or electrical, for example. Although renters don't experience most of the heavy lifting associated with home ownership, such as maintenance and taxes, they do pay down on a mortgage. However, because that mortgage is their landlord's, renters miss out on the prize at the end, owning what may be their most significant asset by them. But what does that mean for the happiness of those who can't or won't buy a home? Is buying a house a key to happiness? In my experience, your life and your head must be in the right places to answer that question. And to make home ownership a happier move, you should ask yourself, will the home I buy meet my needs for the next several years? How many bedrooms do I want? How large or small a yard? Do I want neighbors? If you have student aged children, perhaps the reputation of the schools in the neighborhood will be important. Do I have a reasonable daily commute? How much time does it take to get to work? Is the route congested? Is my job or career secure? Or do I need to worry about downsizing or even unemployment? How important is it for me to fulfill my home ownership dream? If you've answered these questions in the affirmative, and found yourself mentally and financially in the right stage, maybe it is time to start researching the possibilities of home ownership. Will purchasing a home bring you happiness? I know of people who have lived happily in one home all their lives, and I know other homeowners who were extremely happy purchasing their seventh residence. Who knows where you will fall on the spectrum? In my experience, if you want the best chance of experiencing the happiness of home ownership, you got to do the research. Research can't guarantee you happiness, but it sure can help. Ask me how I know. You can start that research by hitting the like button if you learned something today. It inspires me to add more content to this channel where you get weekly, in depth information on the pros and cons of home ownership along the Crystal Coast of North Carolina. And you get also frequent deep dives into homes that strike my fancy. If that's not enough reason to subscribe to this channel, maybe a home that I highlight will strike your fancy too. So subscribe now. It's free. And I promise no salesperson will call. Next week, I'll be releasing my monthly X forecast that keeps you abreast of the real estate market in 10 major communities along the Crystal Coast. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the flip side.